Hey guys, Patriot here with you. Just got back from a little longboard ride. I was beaten in a storm coming in from the northeast here. It was a big electrical storm, so I was kind of hustling. The plan was to cool off a little bit before I did my intro video, but in any case, I went to hike Humphrey's Peak, Arizona, in the Kachina Peaks Wilderness. It's the highest point of elevation in the state, and I actually tried to do this hike about 10 years ago, and I made it up to the saddle, which is the point at which you either go to the second highest peak or the highest peak, which is Humphrey's Peak. There's only a difference of about 300 feet or so. And weather came in. It was in September, I believe, so we had this pretty severe monsoon activity. And you don't want to be up there when there's weather, so I never went. That was 10, 12 years ago. So here we are, fast forward, and I planned another trip, trained for it. Was hiking in 115-degree temperatures here on a couple of our hottest days to prep for this hike, and I'm glad I did, because it was a real butt kicker. I mean, I'm serious. The biggest problem that I had with the trip was the lack of sleep. I planned for this trip and then could not sleep the night before. Don't know what happened. I usually don't have any trouble sleeping. I only had about just under 4 hours of sleep for this big hike. All at elevation, all above 9,000 feet. And I ended up on the mountain a good 7 hours from the time I left the parking lot to the time I got back and got into my vehicle. It was very difficult under those circumstances. I don't think it would have been quite as bad. Honestly, I think that anyone who's reasonably fit could do this hike. It's not a big deal. I'm not a Superman or anything. I try to stay fit. But it's just a matter of how long is it going to take, and do you have, enough sleep, enough food, enough water, and a good experienced hiking partner of some type, someone who's been on the mountain. You don't want to go do this if you're not an experienced hiker. The first part of the video is going to be me climbing about up to the saddle or so, pretty close to it, and then the second part two. There's no way I could do this on one part. It's just too much video footage. The second part is going to be me making it to the summit and then coming back down the hill, which I didn't get a lot of footage of because, like I said, I was wasted. I mean, I was really, really tired. The hike up, I was kind of going off of excitement. By the time I was coming down, I was truly tired. Compared to where I live, I'm 1,500 feet here, and I go up to over 12,000 feet. I actually got queasy at one point at the top after I stopped to put on fresh socks, and I was bent over and I'm not getting enough air in. My body's tired, so I got over that part a little bit by just sucking on some candy. These hiking videos never bring many views, so I'm really doing it for the diehards of the Patriot 36 channel and the guys who really always ask me for hiking videos. So here's another one for you. I hope you like it. It was a lot of work, and I'm glad you guys could come along. Enjoy. Good morning, guys. Patriot with you on a hike up to Humphrey's Peak. At least that's the attempt. I tried to do this once before, a slightly different time of year, and made it up to the saddle, and the weather started coming in, and I couldn't go any further. So we got lots of climbing. We're at high elevation, up to 9,000 foot elevation. So I think the secret to this early stage is just walking way slower than you think that you actually have to. Which is hard. We're used to a walking pace. I walk kind of fast actually. But I can definitely feel that altitude. I lost the camera battery for this camera. I had another one go bad a while back. My camera's a little older now. I've had it since my Alaska trip, if that gives you any idea. So I'm going to try to do this whole thing on one battery, so I'm going to turn it on at certain key points and show you some of the beauty up here. Thanks for tagging along. Alright, wanted to update you of any changes. I did shed my Mountain Hardwear, my light shirt. It's hard to talk and film. And that's in my pack now. I got my hat off to cool. My pants are convertible, so I can take those down to shorts, which I might do in the next half mile here, maybe mile. The trail's in real good shape. I do have on some very light hiking shoes. I'm almost embarrassed to show you. Well, here it goes. Just a very light tennis shoe. And I switched out shoes at the last moment. I had a pair of boots that were about 8 ounces heavier. With the weather being what it is, I debated back and forth a few times, but anything that can make this hike a little bit easier weight-wise. I'm pretty careful with my foot placement. The lower trail here looks bad, but it really isn't. There's big gaps in between most of these rocks, and you can step in between the roots. So we're going to have about 3 miles of very similar terrain. The trees will change as we go up. Man, I'm having fun. This is great. One of those is a buck. The one right behind it. A small guy. Cute. Fawn in there. Definitely worth turning on the camera for. So I left the parking lot about 8:15. I'm hoping to summit by 10:45. The pace I'm going though, I don't know. I'm really chilling it. I'm stopping to enjoy. I'm constantly having to remind myself this trip isn't about the summit. It's about all this. This is it here. This is what I'm enjoying. I don't want to storm past it and miss it. This is my turn. Humphrey's Peak, Kachina Peaks Wilderness. This whole area is about 20,000 acres, and the peaks area is comprised of about five or six main peaks. Forgot what I was saying. Oh, the clouds are unexpected today. They're predicting the start of the monsoon today, so I'm really gonna have to watch my weather when I get up to the saddle. From the saddle, it's about another 1,000-foot climb. 1,000 feet can be almost as hard as the previous 2,500 or so. So with the altitude, I'll be watching the weather really close, but that's why I wanted to get a fairly early start. I'm already losing water at a pretty crazy rate. The amount under my arms and behind my backpack just drenched already, so I'll be drinking early and often. Got a couple orange juice in me, bottle of water, 32 ounces of Gatorade, and so I've been drinking all morning. Probably have to pee a lot here at first, but much better place to start than behind the curve. Seems like after you do this a while, you kind of learn to find the pace. And part of that's your breathing. Part of it is your body temperature. And then a great gauge, of course, is your heart rate. I was a competitive cyclist for about a decade. Road bikes, mountain bikes, and I still mountain bike today. I do a lot of longboarding these days. My skateboard, that's always a good workout. And I hike and I take night walks and that sort of thing whenever I can. I enjoy it. I try to stay fit. I know my body pretty well at 7,000 or 8,000 feet because I spend a reasonable amount of time at that altitude. This is a different story, of course. Having worn a heart rate monitor for so many years, after a while you kind of know about where you're at. And I can feel my heart in my chest, and I can hear the blood pumping up through my ears, and so I can kind of offhand do a quick count and see about what I'm at. The goal is to stay under 155 on the way up, just not to overdo it. This is going to be a long hike. I don't know what to expect. It's getting pretty rocky here. This is one of those hikes where I'd rather go too slow than too fast, because I got all day. This foot pace feels a little bit strange. Did a hike recently in 116 degree temperatures, about a 4.5 miler, and I was thinking then that the heat feels very similar the effects it has on your body, your breathing rate, your heart rate, has similar effects to that of altitude. And now that I'm at altitude, it's reminding me of that walk that I had in the 115 degree temperature, 16, whatever it was. All right, moving right along. I'm gonna guess I'm just past the mile point. I did have to take the pant legs off of my convertibles there. It really is actually helping a lot. I feel like I'm cooling a little better. I guess the tendency to think when you're starting at 9,000 feet, 7:30 in the morning, about when I got to the parking lot, is that it's going to be cooler than it is, but Arizona's just hot in the summertime, no matter where you're at. I've got about 120 ounces of water with me in 6 20-ounce bottles. I'm going to try to finish a bottle after every 2-mile mark. I'm on pace for that right now, just a little ahead actually. Gorgeous. My first view outside of the timber here. You can kind of see down to some of the alpine meadows. Five miles, constant climbing the whole time. The hiking page ratings rated this as strenuous. So usually when they say strenuous, they mean it. Alright guys, we're about 1.5 miles in. I see a couple of hikers ahead. First hikers of the day. I figured I'd be caught before I caught someone. But, wow, that's rocky. Just got a group of hikers behind me. I have a couple in front. They're going at a pretty good pace. So, I'm just kind of trying to space myself. I do enjoy the quiet out here. And if you have a big group of hikers on the trail, it tends to be real chatty, which is fine for a little while, but another big slide area. Trail goes this way around it, just like the last one. Oh, there's actually a little bit of snow over there. Wow. Trail is very clearly marked, but it is rugged. There's some big 2-foot steps in a lot of places. I want to say I'm at about the halfway point. I'm not checking GPS because whenever I start looking at numbers and stats, I start setting goals. So I'm just going to plug along. Wherever I'm at is wherever I'm at. Oh, it's gorgeous. Oh, the snow. You can't not stop here, right guys?
Oh yeah, very good picture.
Funny, I don't remember the journey to the saddle being this far before. I was a lot younger. I was 10, 12 years younger too. Man, that is some steep stuff. Huge, massive slide area. It's massive. All that igneous rock up there. It's got a hiker coming up behind me. Yeah, the whole area is one huge volcano. The side blew out. Very similar to Mount St. Helens. And this is what we have today. Pretty amazing. Whew. That's some big steps, man. That's some big steps there. Hiking poles would probably help at this this area. That's ice. Some sporadic ice on and off. You know, it's a lot of work, but it's very enjoyable. Having a great time and really enjoying the pace that I'm going right now. Not killing myself. Still a workout, but not killing myself. And we got a brute of a climb up ahead here. Size of that tree right there. That's a beast. Wow. Rocky, rugged trail. It's going to be worth the view. Oh man, this is fun. Having a great time.